Oh, okay. So it wasn't anything that happened recently.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been whipped while I've been here, but that's no.
Wait, here in this castle?
Bree, are you plotting revenge in your head right now?
You are dodging my question.
No, you're dodging mine.
I asked you first.
Bree, in my line of work, stuff like that happens, and that's just how it is.
Right.
If I get caught, punishment is at work.
I, so you are not gonna do anything about it?
I would, but I'm in a position where I'm in a very different world.
Oh,
Here, I'm nothing.
that you are not nothing. That is not true.
Well, in many people's eyes, I do not exist, which for my part is a good thing. But it's a very different world
Hmm.
where you're born is important and not who you are.
Hmm. Bree looks like she's struggling to comprehend that. All right. Okay.
So, omens.
Yeah.
What have you been told they mean?
That Bree scrunches her face as she tries to remember and then parse it into words. Um, that there is a great evil coming, and that it is right to be afraid. Change is sweeping across the land, which, if you hear how Uncle talks, that is most certainly true.
Hmm. It does seem we're digging our own grave
Ah, what?
with all the problems that keep popping our way.
Oh, well, this house has survived worse. We actually have a castle now with a wall.
True. So, is this part of your dream, or has someone told you this? Has Rosette told you this?
Oh, no, not Rosette. I told this person I wouldn't share his name. I met him during our tournament. I actually fought on his team. He was the Green Knight.
Right.
He he asked me about Omens and what I had seen, whether anything suspicious or curious, and I told him about like some eagle that fell perfectly healthy but was riddled with disease, and then the shadow cat, and then she shudders the eyes of the shadow cat, and then like these curious faces that came out of the rain while I was laying in the maester's room. I don't really know, Nini.
Was this just some soothsayer coming to you, or
No, it was the Green Knight.
who's the Green Knight?
I told him that I wouldn't tell anyone.
Okay. Is Could he in any way put you in harm's way?
Bree like Bree has like a blue screen moment as she like stares at like the center of the well.
Has he
Uh,
put you in harm's way right now?
no, I do not think so. And I am very good at reading people.
So you're not in any harm's way right now
Not from
because of this
him,
person. Then from what?
from Lord Hanan.
You know I wouldn't let him hurt you. You would lose a finger before he touched you. if I had it my way.
It is not physical pain, Nini. I have felt plenty of that.
Yeah.
How about we just enjoy this moment? And,
Just if you're in any harm, tell me. I'll protect you. Help you.
all right, Nini.
You mean a lot to me too.
I know, Nini. I saved my stupid cousin because of you, Nini. See, you bring out good things in me. I don't know why everyone says I'm so mean.
I don't know either.
Doesn't make sense.
Many people don't make sense.
Bree is content to leave it at that. Just enjoy Nini's company.
Some small talk, perhaps changing into less serious topics as we like zoom away from that and go inside.
Yeah.
What are we seeing inside? In that great hall.
Food.
Food.
Sure.
Food and
Drink.
drink.
We're hungry.
Break some. Lucas will come in.
Hey, Lucas.
Deliver food.
Averting his eyes from Lanus.
He's just barely dares enter. He's like, oh god, oh god, oh god.
I remember when you betrayed my trust.
Well, you know.
You need to be treacherous. You know? That's
Yeah. With 2 deception, it's rather difficult.
Maybe it was a valuable lesson.
You know, Lanus doesn't even fully want to look at him right now. He's still feeling guilty about it.
Yeah. Perhaps hearing the commotion from above, Rosette will look in the door and then come to join you. Come to sit next to Linus. Sort of kind of interrupting your talk, just, making sure in a way that if you were talking about something you didn't want her to know, you're now very, you know that she's here. By saying, oh, welcome home, husband. He does like a curtsy before she sits down. Uncle, cousin.
Rosette doesn't nods at her, frowning, and then just shakes his head to himself.
She's sitting in a very much more straight pose than she usually would be. Looking a lot more like the adult she, pretty much is at this point. She says, "How was your trip?"
It went well.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And Lord Karen, is he all right? He looks a little concerned.
Yes, he is. He is doing as well as he can be at this point. He's up and about.
That's good. Good. She sort of looks as if she's going to tell something, and then she just sort of leans back a little bit. Don't let me interrupt you. She'll take a little bit of food.
I assume everything here has been going well. I hope at least.
Well, the good Lord is back.
We heard.
He has been furiously writing letters. He spoke to Bree. She looks at you and she takes a little bit of drink. Not breaking eye contact. So that's new.
How did it go?
She says, Celine says, I think it went well.
I think she's speaking the truth.
Yeah, no, I'm nodding. He says, yes, it went perfectly.
Bree looks much better now. Like it really gave her purpose. Says nodding.
Linus nods. As he takes some of his bites to eat.
She smiles at him, sort of. She's clearly missed him, his company.
Linus as well, nudging very, very slightly closer to the end of the table where she sat. Just,
So, What are we gonna do now? Is it a meeting, perhaps? Should I inform our dear lord that you have returned and that you wish to speak to him, or?
Doesn't nod slowly. If you would be a dear, Rosette, yes.
Just, I shall do that at once then. Perhaps a meeting. Are you tired from your ride?
Desem looks at the others if they have any inclination. For him, it's might as well have it now.
The good lord did ask me to invite you to one as soon as you returned. He said that exchange of information might be useful for both parties. Smiles.
Joy.
Well, then we will have a meeting.
She seems very energetic and sort of, uplifted by this whole affair right now. All right, I shall inform him then.
Desem frowns at her as she leaves.
What is up with the girls? We leave and they come back and...
Her pregnancy is also beginning to show a little bit. She's wearing looser things. Usually she wears her armor. She's not right now. She's wearing a dress instead.
We've been body snatched, Halldamir.
they're becoming more... ladylike?
I think we can have a guess as to reason to why this is happening.
Piety seems to corrupt all.
What was that, Alaric?
Nothing.
Ladies just look. Ladies' eyes dart over to you.
Lucas looks slyly over his shoulder as he moves.
Hello,
This time
Queen.
room-
Something. It's a long time.
This is,
to walk with it.
it just seems to change people. Even if the people it changes doesn't want it to. Perhaps corrupt isn't the right word, but definitely changes people around a pious one.
Coming from the anointed knight.
Time to do some changes in my thoughts of Alaric, I guess.
I'm pious, but not quite that pious. But, after all, a vow of chastity, that's a bit extreme. Kind of shakes his head, takes a sip of wine again.
I wasn't aware that chastity was part of the knight's oaths, but then again,
It wasn't.
really.
Not mine, at least.
Of that, I have no doubts.
I swear to never a woman. But it is not, no. That is, chastity is not a virtue of the man, it is a virtue of the woman.
Yes.
On that note, maybe we should get up to the meeting room and
Yes, well,
greet our lord.
Desem reflects on the words Rosette said, and he seems to think on them. The words she chose and how she spoke them, yes.
I'll say anything else you need, my lord Lanus?
Well, you sort that out, buddy. I need to...
Famous
Wow.
frown slightly at the others leave.
Just kiss him already.
Yeah, just kiss him and be done with it.
Or you can kill him and then have that be like a regretful moment for the rest of your life.
He sort of moves close to Lanus as he says, the meeting between Halen and your sister didn't go so well as your wife might have you think. She has been intimidated into obeying his commands by him threatening to harm Nima if she does not. The strange alchemist in the basement was there. I think I've noticed him speaking to his lordship quite a lot. I imagine that they have made some sort of connection, though I cannot attest to what it would be. They sometimes speak some words in language I don't understand. It is hard to get close to down there.
You're sure about all of this?
He says, I'm absolutely sure.
I need to look into all of this.
He nods.
Thanks
Good.
a lot. I won't tell the others.
Nods. As he moves out and changes from his sort of slight smile into a scoff as he looks at you. Now, my lord, if there's anything else you need, he says in a slightly dismissive voice.
Kiss me tenderly.
I don't mean to be offensive, but I have things to take care of in the kitchens.
You may return
See,
to
then
duty.
he gives you sort of a quick smile again, as to say, this is how we're doing it, right? And then he...
Lanus will give a slightly affirmative look before changing to a lordly discipline and
Sure.
dismissing the
We'll
door.
leave.
Having a
Cool.
slight smile now. Slightly relieved. Also now slightly worried.
Aren't we all?
Well, you'll meet your wife on the stairs, walking timidly behind his lordship Caladan. Check his place. She walks in, sits down. He has a bunch of letters that he will hand to Desm. So, good to see you back. Uncle, after this meeting, I would prefer if you would send these right away. There's quite a few of them, and we wouldn't want anyone to be late.
Doesn't looks through them. To where are they addressed?
Oh, they appear to be basically almost to every lord of the marshes.
Hmm.
A lot of them.
Invitations.
Really not. That sort of bends over a little bit slightly awkwardly and says, when you're doing that already, Uncle, perhaps you wouldn't mind sending this one? She sort of puts one timidly on the top of the pile, turned down so the receiver isn't really visible right now.
Okie doke.
All right, circumventing me. Doesn't even need me. I like it.
Okay. Sure. Make a note of mysterious letter.
You should have a slight smile. Helen frowns slightly looking at it. Don't say anything.
There's some nods, of course, of course. Put the letters to his side here.
He looks. What says? So, I understand that you have been quite active since our last meeting, and I'm sure we will get to that. First, however, I want to inform you of what I discovered while traveling with Lord Peake, or Sir Peake, I suppose. First, about the House of Appleton. We spent quite a while there attempting to find Lady Appleton, or engage with her. I have, throughout that process, concluded that she is not at the keep. I honestly do not think that the Maester and the men-at-arms and whoever else they had me speak to knew where she was. My only assumption would be that she has either been taken away and they're keeping it secret for some reason, or more embarrassingly, that she has run away and they are refusing to say so. This would mean that they are holding the keep unlawfully, as there would be no Appleton inside. Though I cannot say as to their motivation for doing so. They will not be an avenue of worth pursuing further, I don't think. I spoke as well to Lord Peacebury some. He was unpleasant, and I was surprised that you had not been there before me. It was simply on my way back. Beyond that, the Ashfords appeared to be willing to deal with us, but only for an exuberant amount of wealth that we would not be open to shift to their domain as of yet. Says, all in all, I hope you have had better success than I.
Doesn't taps a finger on his shin thoughtfully as he says, "Well, that the Ashfords wish for wealth is no surprise. It was the heir to Ashford who spent a lot of their wealth trying to undermine us by financing the lawnmen. Much of the weapons and arms resources the lawnmen had came from Ashford. I do believe that the young lord almost ruined his father's economy completely by doing that."
Keelan frowns slightly and says, I see. Rogue members of one's house can be a trouble if they make bad decisions like that.
Indeed.
Does he look
As
at
to
anyone when
why-
he says that?
Not really.
As for the why the delegation to Peaceberry was cut short, I do believe Sir Alaric can explain it more detailed and first-hand than I.
Before that, I understand that our maester has gone to do something. I was informed to speak to you about that as well. Sir.
Yes, that is in conjunction with what happened to our on our trip towards Peaceberry.
Looking at Alaric.
Alaric will say, yes, as Decim says, it's all related in some description. On our travels to Peachtree, we stopped at a tavern. And during the night, we woke to the tavern on fire. We proceeded to try and exit through through an old door in the side of the building. And we were set upon by highly trained and rather organized bandits, in a sense, led by the Red Adder. And
He sort of looks like the name doesn't really say too much to him.
I'm kind of stupid.
out of character, I
Sorry,
can't
I'll
remember
stop.
I can't remember his first name. I know he was a Will, but I can't remember his first name out of character.
Well, just saying a will might be fair enough to put them sort of on the map anyway.
Yeah, Alaric would say he was the heir to House Will when the trial commenced.
I will nod slowly.
And we proceeded to fight. Brienne and Decim went behind the tavern. I didn't quite see where they went after that. Myself and Nima went out to fight with Mantha. He kind of has to adjust his positioning in his seat. Clears his throat and says, during the fighting, Manford was killed. I received
Frown slightly again.
numerous wounds, very deep wounds that were worsened by poison.
This explains your visit to Lord Karen, then.
He nods. Says, and Nima was almost killed.
Where does this fit in with the Maester being gone? I hope you did not abuse his ability.
He shakes his head. At the tavern, before the fire, we met Lady Benizia Swan. And after the fire, she kept myself, Nima, and Bree from all dying as we travelled back here. And we struck a form of a a form of a deal for the price of her saving our lives. We would allow her to go with Maester Cole to try and bring an end to the plague in her territories, or her family's territories. And in return, we would solidify a alliance with House Swan, and quite possibly House Trant, as she is a favoured niece of Lord Trant.
Could you repeat that? What exactly do you intend to do? He sort of raised a little his seat, looking at you.
Lady Swan and I formed quite the bond. And she will be talking to her father as an arranged marriage to be held between us.
There are rumors that she does sorcery.
That's just peasants. Surely yourself does not believe in sorcery.
He says, the peasants might. And do you see us having great favor with them for how our house has handled the faith in many years before now?
He looks Halen, very straight-faced in his eyes, and says, I feel that our small populace will be quite fine. After all, we do not have a city to keep happy.
I shall speak with Lord Swan then about this possibility, but I am skeptical. The Trents are not a name I would like for us to be associated with, even in such a secondary fashion. It is the reason I did not suggest such a possibility to begin with. I perhaps would have hoped that you would have understood as much. He looks to Desm.
Doesn't look completely innocent.
So does Rosette. Looks to Lanus.
I mean, Lanus doesn't know about this. Lanus has no clue about the sorcerer thing. Like, what?
The only thing I know, my lord, is that she saved our lives.
Looks like Lena says, I suppose there is something for that then. She looks over at Alaric. Cousin, your reputation speaks of your weakness in this fashion. I hope that you kept to yourself during her stay.
Desm looks very innocent. He has heard nothing of this.
Yep.
Uh,
I do understand, of course, that she's unmarried.
Alaric looks at Halen and says, Cousin, I feel that my personal life isn't particularly your concern.
He frowns,
Especially something
says,
so intimate.
I do not agree. Now answer my question, please, cousin.
My God, just say yes, of course. Or if not, we'll just kill him.
Alaric shrugs and says, I follow it. I like which path I want to take. So yes.
Frowns and leans back slightly, shaking his head. Says, I hope that you will pray to the crone for wisdom in the future. Next to him, raising an eyebrow. Perhaps some time spent outside the gates, kneeling on one of the hills, will help enlighten you. I hope to be able to see you there from the walls.
Alaric raises an eyebrow. Is that
I know it is not ideal. I would sooner have a chapel. But soon enough, cousin, soon enough. He seems slightly tired at this whole prospect.
and is that an order, my lord?
As my word is order, yes.
I'll bring beer.
She looks at him and says, I also had a conversation with the young Bree. She was, Hanson says, frankly in a terrible state. I, however, succeeded in recovering her, and I have. She attends meals, and her speech is a lot more pleasant than it was. I must admit that I thought at one point that maybe there wasn't any hope for her, but her recent improvements have left me with quite a bit of it. It seems that some people whose lives might have been difficult simply need a strong, firm hand to change things a bit for them. Says I would appreciate if you could inform me if she misbehaves in any way. Set nods vigorously.
Lanus would nod.
Decim is picking through his papers, looking very busy and doing notes.
Yes. Good. Now, we do not have long before the vote. I've set in preparation for the tournament field to be cleared so the tents can be set up. I imagine most of the guests will be staying there with their own brought things. I was thinking of inviting our cousin and uncle to stay here as well. In the keep, that is. I have not spoken much with his lordship, but it seems like a courtesy we can afford.
Lanus looks over to Decim.
Would that be agreeable?
How do you feel about all this?
I mean,
On the hand, one Tarly, on the other hand, the other Tarly.
yeah, that's a problem, right? I like one of the Tarleys. The other one can go fuck himself.
Now, it would be great if Gormy and Peak were also here, too, while the Tarleys were here.
Ugh.
Yes.
That sounds like a headache waiting for Lord Halen to resolve. Yes, it does.
Alaric might actually camp out in the tawny field at that point.
Right, he is talking about the Tarleys, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Decim strikes then and say that Lord Tarley is certainly a friend of the house. The young Tarley is a bit of a, is a bit of a handful, to say the least.
I shall look forward to making his acquaintance.
You will be the only one who has ever said that, my lord.
He smiles slightly. I hear he has quite the surname as well.
It is well earned.
He would put a dagger through your helm's visor sooner than you can say, well, that was rude.
Francis says, he might try, you mean?
I've seen that man
Regardless, he
fight.
is family, and even though I'm sure he has countless sins to his name, he might not be completely lost.
You could totally use that against him, like Venetia.
You're exactly.
Yes.
Use it against him.
Alaric might actually might say something like in a minute.
There's some nonsense says your eye for the light within other individuals is unparalleled, my lord. I'm sure it will be fine.
He nods. He says, all men sin, for that is how we are. But it is in our attempts to be redeemed that we truly show what we can be. At times, he says, we must do things that seem cruel so that others do not have to, and so that some who might not appreciate you for the good you do can still, he seems to think of the word, be saved by your actions.
Oh, like Benesia. He's totally into men. That's why he doesn't.
Is
like
there
Yeah, that's
anything
what it is.
else? Is there anything else that I need to be informed about?
Well, my lord, there is the upcoming visit of the Hand of the King, which I do believe is only, well, days away at this point.
Frowns, says, I am sorry. I'm not sure I understand.
Didn't Bree tell him this?
I swear Bree told him this. Because we
A few days, you say?
There was correspondence that I was quite sure I left for my lord to find in the study. He doesn't look concerned. Yes, the Hand of the King, Lord Butterwell, escorted by Lord Dundarian, I believe, is coming to visit. They have requested to do so. I received said letters while you were away, my lord, and I did my best to start preparing for that arrival. However, that might have been changed by my lord's return. Any orders you would have given would, of course, have been superseded mine.
Rosette looks incredibly innocent.
It is.
I
it is-
was-
Dark
it
girl.
I suppose I shall have you continue to see to that, then.
No, of course, my
I
lord.
expect you to entertain our guests. I myself will not be staying long. I should hope to find. I will have to meet some of the potential teachers for the young Bree in the small tavern outside of our lands.
I see, my lord. Of course, of course. Well,
Beyond that, I intend to meet there with the young Peak to ensure that we have to discuss the backing we have and what we might and who we might need to further intrigue once they actually arrive here for the vote. There should hopefully be a few days where everyone's gathering that we might have words with some people who are still not decided.
yes, with the arrangement hopefully being made with House Swan, I do believe that they either can be swayed to our side or at least persuaded to abstain, or do at least enough noise to upset
I
Peak.
suppose it is an option.
That was the option I saw before me, my lord.
It says, now, if it is a matter of days, I believe you have much work to do. I shall be in my quarters.
One moment, my lord. I
Oh,
would...
by the way, he looks over and says, I have seen to the burial of my father. He passed away while you were gone, and I have chosen the location of our new to be built once we can afford the expense, sept. He is laid to rest where it will be constructed.
I shall pay my respects as soon as I am able, then.
That's good.
One moment, my lord. I would have a word in private with you. He looks to the others.
It says, very well, follow me then.
rolls his eyes slightly, gets out.
That is very courteous. As the others leave, she looks to Lena and says, "That was a lovely meeting, wasn't it?"
I suppose so.
How could he forget that his father's dead? Before I forget, Dad's dead. What a shame.
I think I shall go to our chambers and work on my posture. Smiling.
The venom from this lady. It's just dripping.
I may come up and join you soon.
And says, "I do miss your play." True. You know. Yeah. Helen walks in, closes the door behind him.
There's some leans on his cane, looking at him. I would ask something of you. And it is to try to explain to me exactly where you plan to take us when Blackfire lands and we are expected to choose a side.
Hudson says, "I suppose that is an order."